So hello, my name is Jill and I'm the founder of Attract and Engage. We are a growth marketing agency based in Essex and we specialise in working with construction, manufacturing subcontractors, landscape contractors, all through materials and supplies. So I'm here today to welcome Ashley Shorey-Mills, who is Head of Supply Chain for the Sizewell C engagement project. Hello, Ashley.
Hi, morning, Jill. How are you?
Hello. Really good to have you here. I thought this will be a really useful exercise because I know we've talked separately about the opportunity that Sizewell C will present for construction contractors in Essex, but I thought it'd be great to get your take on the scale of the opportunity and really how close it is to getting a green light.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll say thank you ever so much for inviting us along to have this chat today and to talk about it. I think the most exciting thing about this whole project and the reason we got involved as a chamber is the scale and the size of it. And I think what it represents as an opportunity as a project and what it represents as an opportunity beyond the project as well. There is the exciting numbers of a £20 billion project and a 10 to 12 year build and all that type of stuff, which is fantastic. But I think more recently, I think that need actually for energy has become kind of even more specific and needed more recently with security of supply, and then when you look at the need to move away with the net zero ambitions in mind, move away from fossil fuels and so on. So I think the exciting thing of this project is it is something so large but also having a lot of meaning that's actually right on our doorsteps in our region, which is fantastic. I mean, obviously Sizewell on the Suffolk coast, if you haven't been there, it's a very beautiful little place, and it's been producing energy since I think 1966, if I remember it rightly, and it's still producing energy now from Sizewell B that's currently there. And Sizewell B has announced potentially this week it was talked that it will be getting a 20-year extension, so it will go on producing electricity from B with now the potential for Sizewell C. Now the Sizewell C project has been murmuring on for quite some time, but it recently went through its examination phase and the recommendations from the Planning Inspectorate were submitted to the Department for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy on the 25th of February. So the view is now that by the 25th of March, the government now has the chance to look into it and then make its decision by that date. So by the 25th of March, 25th of May, sorry.
That's right.
So on the 25th of May, the decision will be made, in theory, potentially to give the green light to Sizewell, and then the project starts in earnest from that point. There is a lot of hurdles, as I'm sure you guys can appreciate, with regards to a project of this size, but our work really is about building that supply chain on the basis that this could start to happen very soon.
So the 25th of May isn't far away. So potentially this kind of once in a lifetime opportunity to be involved in the construction of Sizewell C is quite imminent then for businesses within the region. Can you give me a sense of kind of the scale of that, the range of opportunities that might be available?
Yeah, I think, and that's one of the scary points from a lot of the businesses we talk to is the standard assumption it's nuclear. And if you're not in nuclear energy, there is no place. Actually, the best way to look at the Sizewell C project is it's like they're building a village. When you're looking at what skills are going to be needed, because there is a huge raft of construction required. Yes, you have to literally build the nuclear reactors and the buildings that surround that, but there's also a huge amount of office complex and building to be built on site. There's also, if you take the example of Sizewell C, there's ancillary developments off-site to take place, such as park and ride facilities and freight management facilities, new road, rail and sea infrastructure as well. So there really is just an absolutely massive opportunity of all skill sets. So when you're looking at construction, it pretty much stretches the entire 12 years of the project. But then when you're looking at what's needed throughout the project as well, everyone on site has got to be fed and looked after. A large proportion of them are going to have to be housed and are literally going to live on site. So you've got to look at how you look after the people, but then it's how you take all of the information and how you get it to all those people with technology and with marketing and agency work. So literally almost any skill set of business that we've been speaking to there is a role to play, either directly involved in the project or indirectly. And the indirect is exciting as well, because you've got businesses that are going to need to train, are going to need to develop, are going to need to invest, and they're going to need support services from other SMEs to help them be ready for it. So it really genuinely is a project of such scale and such, from this neck of the woods in East Anglia, never seen before opportunity that any business has a place to play.
And is it very important that this local angle, is it very important that the supply chain is sourced from local businesses?
Yeah, I mean, when you strip it all back, it's baked into the DCO commitments. So the planning commitments that Sizewell have put forward to the government, it's in there. So yes, there is a genuine, and I believe genuine and honest desire from EDF and Sizewell C to use local. They want to see this local supply chain involved, and they want to see this legacy beyond Sizewell. And certainly as a Chamber of Commerce, the whole purpose of us being involved is kind of to ensure that local element is stuck to, adhered to, and where possible, exceeded. And that beyond Sizewell is seen as a catalyst for growth in other parts of the region. But what's also important is that all of the businesses that are going to be involved in this project, or who are actually going to be building it, they will all be expected to adhere to those same goals of local, of caring about social value and the different aspects around that. And so, yes, is the short answer, but it is baked in with promises in writing and desires from people like ourselves to ensure that as a local business you have an unfair advantage on this project, and it's about us helping you to make sure you get that opportunity.
So what do those timelines look like then, particularly as the audience that I'm working a lot with is construction and landscape environment? What kind of timelines are we looking at now for potential commencement from the 25th of May, hopefully getting a green light? And how can they get involved? What do they need to do?
So timeline wise, and obviously appreciate some of this is still very hypothetical, but there is still a common thread that we're probably a year, maybe slightly less than a year from some work now beginning to happen to do with the project. Obviously, there is a lot of assumptions in that, and appreciate with regards to decision in the first place and then financing models and so on. But what all of the project is geared around producing electricity by a certain date for the government. So, of course, there's only certain time at which you can start work to ensure that the end goal is achieved. But the construction phase, particularly for the off-site work to enable people to get to site and do the work, is what will start first. And that is all about construction. So that is all about the digging and the building and the design work associated with that. And we anticipate that we are 12 months, if not sooner, away from some of that beginning to happen, and certainly at least the tender process happening. So it's not too late to be involved if you're not yet involved, but it is important to start to engage. Now, the most important way you can do that is just speak to us, but just sign up to our portal. We have the website. I'll say it, but I'm sure we'll share it as well, because it's nice and simple. It's sizewellcsupplychain.co.uk. And that website gives you loads of information about what it is going on and where the support is, etc. But importantly, that is also the point in which you sign up to the supply chain portal. And the whole idea of the portal is we use that to gather all of the information together from all the businesses locally who are interested. And then we are talking with the Sizewell C procurement teams on a weekly basis of what they need. And when they tell us what they need, we then use that portal to supply that data to them, the relevant parties.
I see. And for small firms who perhaps have never even considered tendering for a project of this scale, what would you say to them? I mean, is there still an opportunity for them to get involved?
Yes. And I think the examples of what's going on in Somerset show that as well, because they're currently halfway through the Hinkley Point C project in Somerset, and they've done the same concept of what we're trying to do in Suffolk. And yes, all manner of businesses. Again, we stress this project is genuinely massive. At peak, there'll be something in the region of 8,000 people working on site on a day-to-day basis. So the large scale companies that are going to run these projects are also working on HS2, on Hinkley, and on all these other large projects. It cannot be delivered by one or two companies alone. It has to be delivered by multiple tiers of companies to ensure that security of supply, because you can't have this being delayed. So actually, at all size of companies, there is a place to play within the tier system of this project. And what's vitally important, and what we want to see certainly as a chamber network, is we want to see collaboration and working together, because lots of small businesses working together will have a better opportunity to win work at Sizewell, because they offer an even greater local presence, but also a much higher security of supply. And so it balances that risk against the desire to be local perfectly, and also gives you then, as SMEs, if you work together, a chance to be higher up the food chain, because you have scale and you have size. So actually, we encourage an awful lot of collaboration, and we're working with a lot of businesses at the moment that are looking to work with who would traditionally be their competition, or maybe who offer a complementary service to them, that actually they can join forces to offer a complete service to Sizewell. And that's a great example of where we want to see local taking advantage.
That's wonderful. There's no doubt of the opportunity that's going to be here, I think, for businesses going forwards. And thank you so much, Ashley. Really appreciate you taking your time today. We're really looking forward actually to welcoming Suffolk Chamber along on the 26th of May to the Builder Group event in Billericay, where you'll be presenting a lot more information, going through the presentation and providing an opportunity for businesses to go through a really thorough Q&A to really understand what they can do. Ashley, thank you once again.
Yeah, no, thank you, Jill. Genuinely fantastic to have the chance to speak. And like I said, we're available. Our team, we've got a team dedicated to this, and we're available at any time to speak to any of your members and the people listening.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.